Hello, it is I, Dragon Souped, also known as Saltosaur in-game. In this video, I'll be talking about Minecraft's latest snapshot for the 1.17 Caves and Clips update, 21W11A. Now, let's get right into the video. This new snapshot only brings a few new particles. However, it brings a lot of changes to the game's blocks, mobs, and items from the previous snapshot, which you can check out by going to my channel. Amethyst clusters now only drop 2 amethyst shards each. However, they can now be broken by any tool, not just with iron pickaxes and above. Azaleas can now be used as furnace fuel. The stems of big dripweed blocks can now be harvested, and can now also be bone built to make the plant taller. Copper blocks, alongside their variants, can now be right-clicked with a honeycomb in order to turn them into their waxed variants. In addition, waxed copper blocks can now be right-clicked with an axe in order to remove the wax off of them. This can also be performed to remove any rust off of a copper block. Alternatively, lightning can also be used to clear oxidization off of copper blocks, without needing to use up axe durability. Finally, copper blocks can now automatically be waxed if a dispenser filled with honeycombs is activated next to them. The potion icon in brewing stands has now been changed to match the actual potion item, and a few stray pixels have also been changed from the brewing stand menu. Lava buckets and powder snow buckets can now be emptied into their respective types of filled cauldrons. All parts of a goldberry vine will now give off a light level of 14 and can now be climbed by a player. Gilded blackstone now sports a different texture. Glow lichen can now no longer be bone mealed if it has no blocks to spread to, and can now also be placed into composters. Rooted dirt now appears in a random position when placed, and can now no longer float if the block supporting it is broken. In addition, rooted dirt can now be bone mealed in order to obtain hanging roots. Lecterns now have a slightly different model, so as not to cause problems with fire. Lightning rods can now be waterlogged and now turn completely white when struck by lightning, and also emit new particles when exposed to rain. Moss blocks can now be combined with cobblestone and stone bricks to make their mossy variants, and hoes can now break these blocks more faster. The top textures of pumpkins and smokers have now been slightly changed. Signs, as well as the backside of paintings, have now been changed to match the wooden planks texture in the 1.14 update. The direction of small drip weaves now change depending on the position of the player that placed it. Spore blossoms now break when their supporting block also does. Snowy grass blocks now have a different texture in order to match regular grass. And finally, for block changes, tinted glass now no longer suffocates mobs and players, and also no longer allows mobs to spawn on top of it. Moving on to item, mob, and world generation changes. Jungle doors and sugarcane have now been changed to match their block textures, and the projectile texture of spectral arrows now matches its respective item. Siamese variant cats now have a brighter texture, and texture issues with the cloaks of villagers, zombie villagers, as well as guardians and elder guardians have now been fixed. Cave sizes have also been adjusted, and so have cave water levels. Alongside this, any ores that replace tough blocks are now replaced with deep slate variants. Finally, for this snapshot, various bug fixes have been made to the game, with more to come in future snapshots. Well, that's all I have for this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out my other videos too. This is Dragon Souped, signing out.